Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to Saving Our Next Generation. My name is Janisa Camaro, and as always, it's a pleasure being on here with you. Today, I have some phenomenal speakers. These are my forward thinkers. And many of you that follow us know why I call them forward thinkers. These are individuals that can strategize and execute. These are individuals that are willing to come to your organization and support your organization in moving forward. The essence of us doing this event every month is to support organizations such as yourselves and so many other countries in so many different parts of the world. Now, my name is Janisa Camaro, and I want to thank you for being part of this. Now, many of you will be watching this at a later time, but I want to take the time again to introduce myself and introduce my host, my co-host, Baki Camus. Baki, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?
Well, you know my song. I'm grateful for another day in B.
Yes.
That's going to go platinum.
One day.
Definitely. You know, as you're quite aware, I tend to joke, but there's some things I take quite seriously. Now, as we're quite aware, our children are killing themselves going in and out of jail. If we don't step in and take action now, when are we going to step in? When we're about to leave this world? How guaranteed are we to say, I'm going to be here for the next 50 years or the next 10 years or even the next day? If we don't take action now and support our youth, when can we step up?
I think that's where we go wrong, isn't it? Because if we don't help them now as they are young, and then we wait until they've grown up, it's more hard work.
I tend to deal with a lot of professionals. I know the traumas. There are different kinds of traumas. There's a community trauma, you understand, and which it is I focus on. And the community trauma is something that a lot of us tend to not be aware of, and which is heartbreaking. I know the mayor is eventually going to watch this. And as you're quite aware, with all due respect, you and I have spoken, you know how I feel. If I don't say what I feel, I'm not happy with myself. I'm deceiving me.
Yes.
You understand? When I talk to the mayor, when I speak to a lot of these people, they tell me that they want to put more police officers on the street.
Yes.
I'm so glad one of the individuals that we have today is a detective. There, with the community and the police department, there's no relationship.
No connection.
No connection, no kind of thing. If we put in more police officers in certain communities, like I always say, my community, I can go outside with a machete in one hand and a grenade in the other hand. I will not see police for at least an hour. When I drive to another community, which indeed I spend a lot of time in Houston,
Okay.
every second there's a police officer. A lot of these kids feel entrapped, and they would stop and search.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my youths. The youths feel as though they're not being stopped because of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They're being stopped because of racial profiling. They're being stopped for drugs.
Yes.
Now, have we ever stopped to consider as to why these youths carry weapons?
No, we don't look for the root of the problem. We only look at the surface. What are these youth doing? They're doing a lot of criminal things. They making noises and breaking things up. And that's what, as a community, we only worry about those things. But what are those deeper roots?
I'll tell you the deeper roots. My son was killed. His brothers feel as though they need to protect themselves. So if they're carrying a knife or a gun and the police pull them over, they arrest them.
Yes.
They feel as though they're taking a gun off the street.
Yes.
Are they really taking a gun off the street, or are they putting that child at risk? Or are they trying to find out why is that child carrying a weapon?
They're not really finding out what child's carrying a weapon. All they think about is what we can, take the weapon away from the child, because in one way, that weapon can turn against him.
Then that child becomes vulnerable. So those that are trying to hurt her. And
Yes.
also the ones that have become victimized,
Mhm.
the ones that are being hurt, are they actually getting treatment to say, you know what, this individual is going through a trauma. How can we support this individual? Are these things being put into factor?
But Eunice, you have to understand is that only recently, people now are starting to get the awareness of mental health or awareness about trauma. A lot of time, the people, they just look at, oh, that youth can be troublemaker.
That's an assumption.
Yes, but that's stereotyping, and that has been going on for many years.
But this trauma has been going on for many years.
But it's been hidden under the carpet.
Nothing's been hidden. It's not been acknowledged.
Or ignored.
Well, that is why I'm so glad that we do this event.
Exactly.
And I'm so glad that the mayor's office and so many other people get a copy of this.
Yes.
And so many people get to see each and every one of my forward thinkers. Ladies and gentlemen, my forward thinkers, I want you to understand that your voice is going to echo for so many years. Because whatever you say is not just going to resonate here and stay here. Your voice is going to resonate into so many ears and so many years to come.
But also, you have to understand is that Camara youths are here to bring that awareness for the community and to bring them together. What you're doing today, like having a detective that you already said, people don't trust in the police. So having that person, the police, and us coming together and showing unity, this is one step that we're getting closer to actually help those communities.
This detective that is here, he's not an ordinary detective.
Okay.
He's not an ordinary policeman.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an ordinary man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man with dignity, with integrity. He's the type of individual, when he sees something is wrong, he don't care who you are. He don't care what is at risk. He will go beyond to say, this is not right. And this is a gentleman I've spoken with so many times, and we built that relationship where I respect this man.
But bringing someone like that, for our youth, this is the main thing that we need to have, the integrity, the passion. And seeing that firsthand, it will actually give them that space for them to grow and become like this person. And this is why we're here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Buck and I can go back and forth. But I like to take this opportunity, as always, to tell you what this platform is about. My son was killed a week before his birthday by another youth. Many times when we hear about this, youths killing youths, society will say, oh, it's a gang. He's involved in a gang. No, my son, Alpha, was never involved in a gang. He's the type of individual that would help you if you see that you're in need. He was the type of individual that will come to you if you see that you're unhappy, to try to bring that kind of sunshine, that smile onto your face. He had an event for his girlfriend a week before his birthday. These youths wanted to enter a venue. Security told them no. And my son happened to be walking by. Security asked him, "Do you know these guys?" He said, "No." Security said, "Okay, they come in." He asked them, "Do you guys have an invite?" They said, "No." He said, "Unfortunately, I can let you in." These youths sat outside and waited for my son to go outside. Was my son involved in a gang? Was my son out there doing something wrong he's not supposed to be doing? We sometimes think that it will not happen to us. We sometimes think that this will not come knocking at our door. I definitely was one of those individuals that thought I was never going to sit here and tell you such a thing has happened to me. My team and I, my family, my forward thinkers, we don't want no one to have to go to a graveyard to visit their children. My team, my family, don't want anyone to have to go to jail to embrace their children and have to leave them there. This is what we are here for. Camara Youth, it's an organization that supports our children from going in and out of jail. And when they come out of jail, they reach out. You know, we always say that it takes a community to raise a child, and that is an African proverb. But if these children don't feel that warmth, that embrace from the community, it will burn a community down to be acknowledged. Remember, they are vulnerable, just like you are. As I always say many months ago, they're confused, just like many of us were many months ago. They're trying to find their place in society, just like you were, I was many months ago. I'm not going to sit here and say I have lived that comfortable life. I've been shot up twice. My girlfriend was shot, died in my arms. I had a strong support system. We need to acknowledge our youth and understand what they're going through. So, without further ado, it gives me the greatest pleasure to introduce our speakers. But before we go into the first speaker, before we go into our speakers, Barky, do you have anything to say?
We've been doing this for how long now, Unisa?
9-10 months.
9-10 months. We could have a baby now, yeah? And I'm so excited about this. I know people are saying, I'm so happy when I said that, but look at Eunice's face. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we are doing remarkable things. And even though Eunice's face is a bit sad at the moment, saying that he's going to have a baby, but what we're doing is something that needs to be done. And we have to be the game changers. We have to be that voice that amplifying it, to make it so dramatic that it shakes up the whole world for the youth. And this is why I'm here. I am passionate, I'm devoted, and I'm determined to actually make that difference. So, Unisa, I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I'm not going to hold this any much longer, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the type, I love to smile. But again, when it comes to our children being hurt, many are being, right now, there are so many that are in the hospital. There's so many fighting for their lives. There's so many going to the grave. And there's so many going to jail. I take that quite personal, and it hurts. When my son was killed, I wanted to hurt every youth, because he would have wanted. Let's go into our speakers. Mr. Sean Pascal, this is a gentleman. He is the CEO of Black Wall Street Media, a police officer here in the UK, an outstanding gentleman, quite humane. He and I have spoken. His network is my network. My network is his network. We communicate quite a lot. And I just want to thank him for taking the opportunity to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jean Pascal.
Thank you, Unisa. Everyone. It's a great honor. Yeah, I'm really touched by a lot of the things that Unisa has said about what he's been through. And it's and sadly in my job I have been there when to pick up the pieces. One of my roles as a police officer is a family liaison officer. For those of you that don't know what a family liaison officer does, they work with the bereaved family. We get involved in the burial or the cremation, as well as, from every aspect of the investigation from day one all the way to taking the matter to court. We're there. So, and you almost become part of the family. So you share in that grieving. And I've had to do this numerous times. And even when the family gets justice, there's no positive outcome for me, seeing so many people impacted by the actions of people and towards each other. Even the suspects themselves, it's not nice to see them throw their lives away. Many of them are very young, they're children. And you touched upon something. You touched upon trauma, and how it's so important to address trauma at an early age. And I absolutely agree with that. And I think it's really something we need to focus on, because if we can deal with that, it will unlock a lot of the world's ills. So many of us have trauma. So many of us have not unlocked the trauma. I've been quite fortunate. I have had counseling, I've had mentorship, and what that has enabled me to do is heal myself, because we all have it within us to heal ourselves and to tap into that trauma and unlock it. And it's quite an empowering thing, because when you're able to do that, you realize that there are no limits to what you can achieve. And which is, how I was able to form my own media company whilst working in the police. People told me it couldn't be done. People told me just try and do it small. People tried to stop me. But here it is today with a reach of over 1 million people. And it's impacting many people's lives because the sorts of things I put out is are positive things, are solutions, are innovative. I'm not about blame, um, because I think we focus too much on blame. I think we're all doing the best we can do, but we need to look at ourselves and what's within our power and what we can do to change things. Um, Now, you've got to understand that people like the mayor, he has a lived experience, and his lived experience is not our lived experience. And things that are important and urgent to us aren't going to be on his priority list. So, you have to meet people where they are and you have to work with what you have. Now, I feel that we as a community are best placed to solve our problems. And that means for us to stop finger pointing and blaming, and for us to get off our seats, and go out there and get things done, which is what I do. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people, there's a lot of controversy about having joining the police as a black person, because of what's gone on in the past and what continues to go on today. But you've got to understand how I operate. I see myself as not there to enforce the law. I see myself as someone there to protect the rights of my community and our people. Because there are circumstances where, for example, you may not have to arrest someone, because in actual fact, arresting that person, whether they're innocent or guilty, might result in them going to prison. So one of the ways I get around that is I'll invite them in with a solicitor. I still get to interview them. I still get to achieve what I need to achieve, but it doesn't have the same damage or impact. So that's just one example, but there are many more examples of how we can make sure that the justice system works fairly. And you can't do that from the outside. You have to be in it. And I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not easy. You have to be resilient, especially being a black police officer. But it's when you look at who's come before us and the resilience they've shown, it's only because of their resilience we're here now speaking to you. So we have to pay it forward. And it doesn't matter if we're on all four, hands and knees. We're making progress. And it doesn't matter if we see that progress in our generation. We have to carry that baton, and we have to recognize, we are here for a short time on earth, and we're here to, serve God and make sure that we keep moving forward, and like I said, we really need to just focus on ourselves. I don't blame people. I don't get upset with people just because they don't get it. There was a time I didn't get it, I get it now, and I'm getting it more and more every day because I'm working on myself, and I will make mistakes, but I will also look at those mistakes because I'm my biggest critic, and we need to work on not being emotionally led. And what I mean by that is not basing our decisions on our emotions. And when you do find yourself doing that, you need to check yourself and go back and and ask yourself, if I wasn't angry, would I have done that? Would I have said that? But these are where we're making our mistakes. So I don't know if my 10 minutes is up, but I will just, leave you with those thoughts. Um, I'm not an educated man. I never went to university. I never went to college. I went to the education of life, and it's probably taught me, well, what I see it's taught me is things that you can't get out of a textbook. But it really depends on you having a look at yourself, because there's a lot of lessons to be learnt, and God puts things in our way, and they may seem like storms or things, bad things, but no, they're just there to teach us. Embrace those challenges, learn from them, grow. And so I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to take great delight in introducing our next speaker. Her name is Latonya Jackson. She is based out in the United States of America, place I'm very familiar with. I used to live there once. She's a personal empowerment specialist, life coach, speaker, poet, mentor, CEO, and founder of Daughter of King nonprofit organization, entrepreneur, and a remarkable lady. And she epitomizes what you can achieve when you put your mind to it. So I'm going to hand you over to Latonya and bow out at this point. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a blessed rest of the evening. Thank you.
Today, I want to impart some wisdom on the inside of you, because you're greater than what you know, and you can achieve more than what you think you can. Your circumstances do not define you. You define you. All the power that you need, everything that you need to overcome your obstacles is right on the inside of you. I don't care where you came from. I don't care what you've been through. You can turn it around. You are the change. Just know that when you go through things, if you stop and think about it, and I like to use this acronym, RAP. No, I'm not Jay-Z. I'm not Beyonce. I'm not Eminem. But however, I am me. But I use this acronym, RAP. R, reclaim your power. A, authority, because you have power and authority on the inside of you. P, your power. Your power is your source. Your circumstances do not determine what comes out of you. You determine that. And I want to stay right there just for a second. You are an overcomer. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care what nobody done to you. You can overcome any and everything that you put your mind to. Internal growth is essential to your future. Okay? And the reason why it's so essential to your future is because if you don't work on you, if you don't work on the things that's holding you down, that's weighing you down, then you cannot proceed in your greatness. You cannot walk in your greatness. So when you take the time to work on you, it lets you know that you can overcome your circumstances. I'm real big on this word process. You cannot get from one mountain to the other mountain without going through the process. So that means you have to deal with all the insecurities, all the flaws and mistakes that you may feel like you have made. And no matter what mistake you made, you can always come back from that. Your past does not determine your future. You determine your future. Okay? When you let things define you, it holds you in the prison of your own mentality. And that's somewhere that a lot of people get stuck in. At the age of 13 and 15, I tried to take my own life because I didn't know I could do or be more. Nobody told me the possibilities that I had for my life. I grew up on the west side of Port Arthur, shootings, gangs, all of the above. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I didn't partake in it, because I did. And what led me down that path at the age of 13, my brother died. He was gunned down the sidewalk from our house. And instead of me dealing with the emotions, it was no help for us. Like, nobody didn't really talk about those things. So the emotions that I had stemming from that, I took it out on everybody else. Beating people up, just getting into all kind of trouble. But I'm here to tell you today that you can turn it around. The things that's going on within you, the battles and the wars that you have going on within you, you have people that surrounded, like people like us, people like the Kamara youth. You have programs that assist you in your growth if you want to. Nobody's going to force it down your throat. You have to get up and go get it. What do you want for your life? If you want a better life, you're going to have to strive for it. You're going to have to go after it. Make your life mean something. Okay, you might be in this predicament right now, but however, with the right tools, you can grow into a successful, prosperous human being. Kamara Youth is reaching out to help the youth become better, to reach your full potential. But if you do not do the inner work, and I'm going to keep staying on that, because you have to do the inside work. Because if not, you'll be adjusted to everybody else's frequency. You'll be adjusted to everybody else's tone. Therefore, they are dictating your life. So you have to take that power back from everything that tried to rob you of your future. And how do you do that? And I'm going to stay right here on it again, by doing the inside work, by finding things that will level up your thinking, that will level up your emotions. Finding the help that you need. Okay, you may not get it from your parents. The thing of it is with that is that as parents, there's no handbook to it. I have 2 sons and I raised 2 of my nieces. There's no handbook to parenting. So they're going to get things wrong. They're going to make some mistakes, and they're not going to know things. But however, when people reach out to help you, when people reach out to pour into you, don't be so quick to shut it down. Because you want to be cool. You want to be with the in crowd, but just know this, that in crowd leads nowhere. So the choice and decision is yours as to what you want your life to look like. It's 2 places that are full in this lifetime, and it's the graveyard and it's the jail cells. Really full. It's the richest place on earth. So you have to determine whether or not you want to end up in those places. Your thoughts is very crucial to the actions that you take each and every day. What is your mindset? Because when you begin to change and shift your mindset, your life has to follow that avenue. But the only way you're going to get it is if you allow people to pour into you. You don't want to be so hard to where you reject everything that's being poured into you. Because however, if you do that, you'll end up just like everybody else and following the crowd. Find out who you are. Take the time to work on you. Find out what you like, what you don't like. That's part of the journey. You can find out what you want for your life. Other people I can sit up here and tell you all day long that you are predestined for greatness. But if you don't believe that, I can't make you believe that. So today is the day that you say, hey, I want to do something different. I want different for my life. I want to make my mama proud. I want to make my papa proud. I want to make me proud. Your life is your own. And only you hold the power and the keys to change it. Regardless of your situation, you can't overcome it. Even if you've been to jail, even if you've been in trouble, look, you can turn that around. And in the process of you turning it around, you're influencing and encouraging those around you that they can come out of their situation too. By being that leader, by being the first partaker of change, of growth. You are the exception to the rule that we are just a minority. We are greater. And today I challenge you to rise to your greater, to your next level of greatness. And be that leader that rise above the circumstances and leave your fingerprint, leave your DNA. Today is your day. What will you choose? The future is yours. And I leave you with this. Remember that you hold the keys to your destiny. You're greater than what you know. Decide, commit, succeed. Change your mind, change your life. Okay, I'm not sure if my 10 minutes is up, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce Nick Giles. Nick, I said your name right, huh, Nick? Holler back at your girl.
Latoya, first off, that was amazing. Hey, I don't even want to go after that. I don't even want to go after it.
You got
but
this, Nick.
I have to. So
you got this.
Yes,
Nick
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Nick
So,
Giles is a United States Air Force retiree and a founder of 180 Leadership Coaching. While serving in the military, Nick Giles' position in training for 18 of his 21 years after retirement, wanted to continue helping leaders elevate to the next level of their business and training managers and teachers for today's generations. Now go ahead, Nick. You done all that greatness. You ain't gonna sit up and tell me what you can't do. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
Hey, well, I ain't gonna tell you what I can't do, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. All right?
How about that?
So we're about to talk about something that a lot of people really want to shy away from. And one of the things that we have really come to focus on lately in the past couple of years is going to be mental health. Now, we talk about mental health and we talk about the sports guys. We talk about the football players, the basketball players. They're really big on that. But let's talk about the youth. Because when we talk about our youth are dealing with so many more things than we've ever dreamed of. There are some things that's going on now that at 15, 16 years old, I never was exposed to until I was in my 30s. And these guys are being exposed to something, in their 10s, before they even hit 10 years old. Well, my daughter can come and tell me things that I've never even heard of. And I said, well, baby, where you learned this from? Well, we talked about it at school. I said, well, y'all school is a little bit more advanced than we were when we was growing up, right? Because these kids are smart. But with greatness, with every piece of education that they're learning, they're also becoming more stressed. And that's one thing that we have to understand, and we have to be able to connect with them. One of the things that I found out in 2020, they found that every 100 minutes, a teen takes their life. Now, every 100 minutes, a teen is taking their life. And the crazy part of that is suicide is the third leading cause of death amongst teens between the ages of 15 and 24. Who is connecting with our youth in order to let them know that there's a better way? Who is connecting with them to let them know that there is something greater on the other side, and they don't have to sit there and take their life in order to try to prove something? They prove something by putting their mark on the world. They prove something by showing everybody else what they're really, truly capable of. And the programs that are out there now, Camara Youth Fit for Purpose, these programs are there designed to help them know that they can climb out of whatever gutter, whatever mud, whatever it is that they think that they're stuck in, and let them know that they can put something on this world that we have never seen before. Because every single generation is smarter than the one before. Surprising, but these guys are something amazing. They are truly amazing. Now, one of the things that we really have to focus on now, when I was growing up, I stepped into depression for a little bit. And one thing that I really want people to understand is our youth want the attention. They want the attention, and a lot of times they feel invisible. When I was at Grambling State University, I felt that invisibility. I felt like nobody paid me any kind of attention, and I was just going along to my classes and things like that. And it felt like no one truly cared about me. Now, my parents, they made sure that they kept in touch with me, that I was doing good in school and I was making the right decisions. But mentally, I was going through my own personal battles. And because I felt invisible, there was one lady, her name was Pinky Wilkerson. She was a state representative. And she sat me down one day and she took me under her wing and she said, Nick, you have greatness inside of you. You just have to unleash it. You have to let others know. And she would take me to so many different functions with her. She didn't have to. She had her own kids, but she decided to take me with her. Now, how many of us do that? How many of us will take a kid who is going through so many different things and say, you know what? I want you to come to this function with me. LaTanya, you got it. Joy, hey, you bring joy to the world. So therefore, these kids need to see that joy. They got to see it, right? And when she talked to me, she let me know that I was being seen. And it changed my life. It changed my thought. And after that, I wanted to do better. I wanted to be a better person. I let people know that, hey, you may not have seen me then, but you're going to see me now. And that was the thing that she let me know. Right. And so, but what's the other thing that our kids are running into? Every time you see one, you see some kind of electronic device in their hand. And these electronic devices are telling them more things negative than they are positive. Now, even though they can find out every single thing they want about the world, but there are things in there that we have to be mindful of, and we have to be the ones to kind of tell them it's okay to disconnect from this device. It's okay to say no. It's okay to delete these comments, because a lot of these kids are dealing with cyberbullying. They're dealing with all the social media negativity that everybody wants to bring towards them. But here's the thing that people don't understand. Most of the time, it's our own family who are on there putting the negative comments in it. I talked to a little girl at a gathering, and that little girl, she was really upset. And I said, well, baby, what's wrong? And she said, my cousin was being mean to me. I said, well, what happened? She said, they said that they didn't want to play with me on this game they was playing online. And I said, well, why are you worried about them? You have other friends? Go and play with them. And she did. But here's the thing. But that let me know that your family is just as bad. But you have to, we as the adults, we have to let our kids know that, hey, we love you. We're going to do everything we can to support you. But everybody does not mean you're good, like my grandmother used to say. Everybody don't mean you're good, baby. And sometimes we have to let them know that. And so when they are looking at all of these different things on social media, we also have to let them know that just because somebody is out there living their best life and doing all these other things, hot girl summer and all that, we also have to let them know that just because they're putting that on social media does not mean that they are living their best life, that they're traveling all over the world every single day. No, because a lot of those same people are dealing with some major issues as well. And just because you see all the glamour and all these other things in the background, we also have to let them know that there's a reality out there. Just like we have the Khmer youth backgrounds. Those people have backgrounds. But when you turn that background off, what is the true reality? What is their reality? So everything that you see in front of you is not always what it seems. And we have to let them know. But when we do that, we also have to give them those avenues. We have to let them know that it's okay to go talk to the counselor. It's okay to go talk to somebody, go ask somebody for help. It's okay to talk to the police officer down the street. It's okay to talk to the teacher. It's really okay for them to come to us and let us know what's going on with them so that we can give them some kind of encouraging advice to let them know that they're greater than what they think they are. These kids need us. They're our future. And that's really the point of us being here today and us being on this panel. But before I even get on another soapbox, I'm going to have to pass the mic on. So the next speaker that we have today is the CEO of 3 E's. She's working in her purpose, passion, and potential. And I've seen her speak before, and she is truly amazing. Now, sometimes I don't know if she's going to start preaching or not. So some of y'all better get your Bibles out and get ready. But I will tell you this, the next 10 minutes will be amazing. It will definitely be amazing. And the next speaker that we have today is Miss Joy Brown.
All right. Dreams. Dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them, said Walt Disney. See, dreams are imaginary images, words, and thoughts that happen while we sleep. Dreams can also manifest as aspiration and hopes for our lives. Have you dreamed of becoming the world's greatest athlete, dancer, artist, or star? Or could it be dreams of being able to help people and make a difference? Today, I want to share with you DBA. You probably are thinking about, what is DBA? It stands for Dream It, Believe It, and Achieve It. See, dreams are keys to life's possibilities, and there are no limit on dreams. They are your hopes, wishes, desires, aspiration, and even goals that you want to achieve in life. See, as a young child, I was an honor roll student, and there was this theme that my teachers would always put on my report card: talkative. I love to talk. I love to talk to anybody who would listen to me. Spoke at church, spoke at school, and I grew up with a family that instilled in me the I can mantra, and that was that I could achieve anything that I set my mind to, as long as I believed in myself. See, dreams are manifested based on interests, your gifts, your talents, simply the things that you enjoy doing. When you dream it, it allows you to believe it and have something to work towards. See, Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. See, believe is to accept something to be true. If you want to become a great student, then you have to put in the work to do that. And it starts with believing in yourself. See, to believe in your dreams, you must also believe that greatness, and I'm the third speaker to talk about greatness, and there's a phenomenal with threes. You must believe that greatness lives within you. And Wilma Rudolph is a great testament of just that. See, Wilma Rudolph didn't have an easy life. Oh, no, she didn't. She was born prematurely and suffered from polio and scarlet fever, and was even partially paralyzed at the age of 4. So just imagine being a young child and wanting to go outside and play with your friends, but you can't. And having to go to a doctor's appointments after appointments, and sometimes feeling like, oh, why did this happen to me? But see, there was something inside of Wilma that kept her believing in herself. So even when she wanted to give up, she did not. See, Wilma never stopped dreaming of being able to walk so she could run. She believed that she was destined for greatness, and she became the first African-American woman to win 3 gold medals for track and field, and was named the fastest woman in the world. She dreamed it, she believed it, and she achieved it. See, I believe that you are destined for greatness, but you must believe in yourself no matter what other people, even your family and even your so-called friends, say about you. If you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe? So no matter your family situation, no matter what you go through in life, I want you to know that dreams, all good dreams, can come true. To achieve your dreams, you must first speak life over your dreams. There is power in what you speak outside of your mouth. Words can either speak life or speak death. If you hear all the time, you are never going to be nothing, you dumb, you stupid, you're lazy, you start believing and acting like what is coming out of their mouth. You stop studying, start not going to school. Words and even people become dream killers in our lives. I encourage you to speak life over yourself and your dreams. Declare and decree and speak positively over yourself, over your gifts and your talent and your dreams. Change your vocabulary from what you can't do to I can. And let me remind you of who you are. You are ambitious and inspiring, bold and beautiful, caring and confident, determined and destined, eager and educated, fierce and focused. And I can go on with this list. You are the future leaders of tomorrow, and you have the power and the potential to pursue your dreams. The late Colin Powell said, a dream doesn't become a reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. When life throws you a curveball, and it will, and when it even knocks you down, and it will, you get back up and you keep moving. And when you cannot run, you walk. And when you cannot walk, you crawl. Do not let your past mistakes and failures and even people hold you back. No matter what you've been through, and I mean no matter what others say about you, you keep dreaming and believing. Achieve your dreams now. Make short-term goals and set milestones now. Find mentors and coaches in the Kamara Youth Program that will guide you and inspire you to your greatness now. Change your mindset and remember who you are. And it starts, when? Right now. Surround yourself with new friends who are going to believe in you and pour in you right now. The time is now to change your life, to change your situation. You must dream it by identifying your hopes and dreams and desires. Believe it. Speak life. Speak life. And into your dreams, no matter what other people, and I mean that, no matter what other people say about you. You believe in yourself. You believe in your greatness and achieve it by taking action. Work hard and be determined to never, and I mean never, give up on your dreams. I am a dreamer, and I am a testament that dreams can come true. And I am blessed to be able to walk in the gifts and talent to empower and elevate others. Never be afraid to dream. Believe in your dreams and know that the potential for greatness lives within you. You are the future, and I need you to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Thank you. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Mr. Samuel Kamara, who is a partner at the Peter Manera law firm. He successfully litigated many federal court cases. He currently serves as the chair of the board of trustees at the Woodbridge Unity Methodist Church in Woodbridge, New Jersey. And so get ready to be heard and empowered by Mr. Samuel Kamara.
Mute, Samuel.
Oh, Joy, I cannot follow this. Nick, well, you said it all. I'm dead. But having said that, it is a pleasure for me to be part of this today. Nothing can prepare a parent to lose a child, whether in death or through the criminal justice system. We all do see what goes on in society. We all know there's a tendency to criminalize young Black males. Now, we grew up in Staten Island, New York. I'm not quite sure if most of the audience are aware of Staten Island because it's just an island that no one cares about. It's part of New York. And growing up in Staten Island, we grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood, Park Hill. Now, why am I talking about this neighborhood? Sometimes, as young black males, when we're in certain neighborhoods, we tend to see certain things around the neighborhood. But it is incumbent upon us as parents and community leaders to reach out and lay the proper foundation for our children. Now, we had a mother who made sure every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she runs home to ensure that we sit around the table and study. Now, some of our friends that didn't have such parents end up being part of the statistics in the criminal justice system. Now, and I actually had the opportunity to prosecute some of my friends that I went to high school with. Now, it's not always fun to prosecute people that you know. But one thing that I learned is that if we do not take care of our youth, the criminal justice system will take care of them. The question is, do we want to lose our children, whether in death or toward the criminal justice system? Or do we want to lay the proper foundation for them at a younger age? Now, I'm going to challenge the audience out there to close their eyes for a second. Think of an 11-year-old child growing up in a bad neighborhood, goes out, sees certain people driving fancy cars, certain people hanging around the neighborhoods, and think about that 11-year-old kid now thinking that it's okay for him to hang out in that neighborhood. Now, the 11-year-old now, think of him being 21 now. What do you think ultimately becomes of that 11-year-old who now hangs out in the neighborhood, wants to drive that fancy car, but has a single mother that works all the time, never home to take care of him? Now he starts looking toward those people that are driving the fancy cars as role models. What do you think is going to become of him? He is going to become part of the statistics in the criminal justice system. Is that what we want for our future generation? That is a question that we should be asking ourselves. What do we do to prevent that from happening? We have to have a mindset whereas we become our brother's keeper. We have to reach out to the less fortunate, to the younger generations in the future, and take care of them now. Because if we don't take care of them, it's an easy question. The criminal justice system will take care of them. It's oftentimes not easy for any parent. No parent will want to lose their child. I don't care what way, whether toward the criminal justice system or in death. But we see that happening ever too often now. You turn on the news, you see oftentimes it's never anything good nowadays on the news. It's always about shooting, or you see some young black male going to prison. We have an obligation to help those that can't help themselves right now, those that need our help. We have to reach out to them. Sometimes they may deny or ignore the help initially, or reject it initially. But if we proceed and let them know that we are there for them, that their future and our future do intertwine, they will see a better tomorrow if we reach out to them. We are part of society. Society and us are one. We need our kids to rise above the fray and become the leaders of tomorrow. But they cannot become leaders of tomorrow if we don't help them today. Now, having said that, I have a phenomenal woman, Miss Jacqueline Jeter. She's the CEO and founder of Grow, Lead, and Prosper. And she has a personal and professional training in leadership development. And this woman is definitely someone that we need in our community to help our younger youth grow and become the leaders of tomorrow. Miss Jacqueline, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Kamara, and everyone. This has been dynamic. It's been so awesome. I am so excited to be on this stage with you all today. I want to tell you that a changed life begins with a change in our thoughts. Growth is essential to our life success, and a key element to growth is a positive attitude. I'm B. Jacqueline Jeter, and I'm passionate about growth, specifically having a growth mindset. Miles Monroe is quoted as saying this: "There is nothing as powerful as attitude. Attitude dictates your response to the present and determines the quality of your future. You are your attitude, and your attitude is you. If you do not control your attitude, it will control you." He goes on to say that attitude creates your world and designs your destiny. It determines your success or failure in any venture in life. More opportunities have been lost, withheld, and forfeited because of an attitude more than any other cause. Attitude is more powerful distinction than beauty, power, title, or social status. It is more important than wealth, and it can keep one poor. It is a servant that can open the doors of life or close those same doors and close the gates of opportunity. So let's define attitude. It can be defined as the mindset or mental conditioning that determines our interpretation of and response to our environments. So do you see how critical it is to have a positive mindset and a positive attitude? Allow me to share two examples to help illustrate the power, importance, and impact of having a positive attitude. One day on a large mountainside, there was an eagle nest with 4 large eagles inside. An earthquake came and rocked the mountain, causing one of the eggs to roll down to a chicken farm located in the valley below. The chickens knew they must protect this eagle egg. Eventually, the eagle egg hatched and a beautiful eagle was born. Being chickens, however, the chickens raised the eagle to be a chicken. The eagle loved his home and his family, but it seemed something inside of him wanted more. So one day, the eagle looked to the skies and he noticed a group of mighty eagles.
I'm doing well.
Are you working? Are you staying here? Are you leaving now?
I'm not leaving right now because I'm waiting for my family.
Saw those eagles above. I wish I could soar like those birds. The chickens roared with laughter. You can't soar like those. You are a chicken, and chickens do not soar. We don't even fly. The eagle continued staring at his real family that was circling above, dreaming that he could be like them. And each time the eagle talked about his dreams, he was told it couldn't be done. It couldn't be done. That was what the eagle learned to believe. And after time, the eagle stopped dreaming and continued to live his life as a chicken. So finally, after a long life as a chicken, the eagle passed away, never ever achieving what he was designed and destined and purposed to be. So the moral of that story is that your dreams are dependent not only on you and your attitude, but with whom you surround yourself. You see the power, importance, and impact of the eagle, not only having a positive attitude for himself, but it was important having those ones around him that believed in him and encouraged him, his dream, and that were fit for purpose for his life. There's a saying that goes like this: people you hang around with and the books you read eventually determines the person you become. The same is true about you and me. A positive attitude will either empower us to soar, and having a negative attitude will either keep us grounded, plucking and clucking like a chicken. Another story I want to share with you is that and this place I was when I was in a different company, one of my responsibilities in that role I held there was to interview new team members. And we had an opening for this high level of experience. And I was handed several resumes. And there was one resume that stood out from all the rest. It's as if we created this one job for this one person. And during the interview, they answered all the technical questions with excellence. However, when it came to those questions that we termed as soft skills or good fit questions, their responses weren't so favorable. I then had to interview another applicant from that same stack of resumes. And this person had some of the experience we were looking for, and their answers to the technical questions were just okay. But it was the responses to the soft skill good fit responses, those questions that stopped me in the whole process. I didn't need to interview anybody else. While they didn't have the level of experience that we kind of were targeting and looking for, they possessed and exuded such a positive attitude and a growth mindset that rivaled anybody else. They were hired and they became a key liaison for certain activities in the global company with our colleagues in China. And 24 years later, they were, and they are still exemplary in their good attitude and having a positive attitude and a growth mindset, as well as they're making impact in trailblazing the areas of clinical research. So what do you learn from that? You learn that in this illustration, a positive attitude will open doors and create opportunities for you that skill sets and experience alone cannot do. But the thing is, it's all up to you in showing up who you are. So let me leave you with this real quickly. I'm a woman who likes word pictures, so here's another one for you to take this home. Consider an artist. They are in control of what goes on the canvas of their creation. They control the colors and the flow. And that's mainly achieved by the use of a paintbrush. I challenge you to see yourself as the artist of your day and in each circumstance in your life. The canvas is your life. The color palette is your attitude. And the brush is the choices that you decide to make to color that palette. You control the colors. You control the paint, the picture of your life. You are the conductor of that paintbrush. Remember this, forward thinkers are eagles, not chickens. Forward thinkers are meant for soaring, not clucking and plucking. Forward thinkers have a positive attitude and a growth mindset. Forward thinkers know it takes more than experience and skill to be successful. Are you ready to soar? Are you ready for success? Are you ready to have a changed life and make an impact with your life, in your life, in your community, in the world? I'm B. Jacqueline Jeter. Having a positive attitude is essential to living out your life's purpose. Go soar, go make impact, go create your masterpiece. The choice is yours. The paintbrush is in your hand. Remember, you're an eagle and you're meant to soar. And someone else I know who has a positive attitude is my fellow dynamic speaker, Dr. Wayne Irwin Brown, who's an author, publisher, professor, scholar, mentor, motivational speaker. The list goes on and on. He is amazing. He's making impact not just in his community, but around the world. He is very accomplished here in the States as well as internationally. His formal education is an earned Doctor of Education, Organizational Leadership. He has a Master of Business Administration, and he holds 2 BA degrees. He is also the author of his autobiography, of course, Black Samurai, Global Footprint. Let's listen to Dr. Brown as he soars.
ますですね。本当に皆さん、私はウェインブラッドです。よろしくお願いします。日本語が話しますか？ Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy señor Brown. ¿Hablas la lengua de español? أنا اسمي وين. كيف حالك؟ السلام عليكم. ممتاز. زين. Je m'appelle Wayne. Et tu? Hibarigani. Jambo. Okay, everyone. I'm going to speak in a common language, and it's called English. Let me rephrase this. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Depends on your location on the planet. My name is Dr. Wayne Brown. And it is a great honor to be able to speak to all of you today with Kamara Youths. My topic today is going to be on self-esteem and body language. I want to give a couple of shout outs to my creator, both in the heavens, and my creator who are my parents on earth. They're actually attending, so thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to my family, to my friends, to my A Phi A fraternity, to the Bitcoin campus, to fellow speakers, and of course to Kamara Youth for putting this on. I want to talk about several processes, 4 specific processes when we think about self-esteem and body language. We're communicators. First off, the cognitive process means, what are your goals? On a high, the question to you, to the youth, are you committed to reaching your self-declared challenging goal that you decide? That's a high. The low is to say, do you anticipate negativity or thoughts of failure when you're going for your goal? I give that example because I remember as a high school student, just graduating from high school, there were challenges and obstacles that we had to face. We were developing, we're maturing in our adolescence, taking tests, participating in sports, ASB, Associated Student Body. You meet that first challenge to graduate from high school. Now the real world kicks in. You're 18 years old, you're 17, 18, and 19. You have to get out there. Do you go to college? Do you find a job? What are you going to do? I chose challenges. I went off to school. I went off to earn a degree. I chose the educational route. I continued from that educational route to earn the first degree to take it to the second degree, 2 undergraduates. Then I said, I'm going to take it even higher to earn a master's degree. Finally, I bring this picture up here because as a testament of a goal achievement, which I personally did, was to say I graduated with an earned doctorate degree. Few humans on the planet have been able to do so. When you incorporate the number of African Americans that are in that category, the number is even low. The idea, the projection is that as the African American male, you're not supposed to do certain things. You must challenge this youth. Youth, it is your duty to challenge yourself to reach higher goals. The question, do you shoot high? Do you shoot low? Shoot high, youth. Motivation is the forefront of your thought to be motivated, to take on challenges and obstacles. Do you believe in yourself enough to take on challenging situations? Do you vision yourself to go for it? Or do you give up when the challenges are on you? I want to give an example with this belt. You see, this belt here is a belt for martial artists. I've been blessed to take advantage of opportunities to participate in sports, American football, baseball. I've also done some things on the lines of martial arts, specifically Taekwondo, Judo, and Karate. This belt that you see here, it's a white belt. This is the beginner. This is the first stage that you enter when you're entering a martial arts level. The perception is it's basic. The motivation, though, behind this belt says, I don't want to stop at this white belt. I want to go on to a yellow belt, a blue belt, a green belt, a red belt, and of course, black and brown. I want to reach the highest level, which is going to be a black belt across the board. I use this as an example because you don't see this as I see it. I see this as a starting point. To you, it might look white. I can see the blood and the sweat equity in this belt. I see the challenges in this belt. It's not clean. I never wash this belt. You don't wash a belt when you're in the field of martial arts. I can see the dirt, the years of sweat, The challenge is the mental discipline that you must have, the focus that's necessary for you to strive and to reach and to be self-motivated. That's what's in this white belt. The black belt says it's a status quo. You have reached the highest level of martial arts. You're an expert. You're a professional. The white belt, however, says you're at the beginning stage. This is my motivation. I'm always at the beginning. The accolades, as was mentioned, you're a doctor of education. You've traveled the world. You speak multiple languages. That's the accomplishment from the white belt. Does that make sense? Never give up on your challenges in difficult situations. Effective. There's also an effective emotion that says now we're dealing with one's ability to maintain and control their emotions and their mental state. High. Are you bold? Are you a chance taker? When threatening situations come, how do you deal with it? Do you fold under pressure or do you meet the challenge? That's the high. The low. Do you view yourself and the conditions of your environment as being threatening and something that I don't want to get involved in? I'm going to use this example here. Here I am. This is a picture of, it's called Mount Fuji. It's located in Japan, central Japan. This mountain serves as the second highest mountain in Japan and ranks among one of the highest mountains in the world. This mountain is roughly over 12 to 13,000 feet in terms of a climb. You start off, it's so high that you can't start off at the base level to reach it to the top, which is the summit. The trek itself is extremely difficult. You never walk up straight. You have to walk zigzag. With every step that you make, you feel your calves, you feel your back, you feel your muscles. As you look up, you say, am I getting closer? But as you look down, you're questioning yourself and you're doubting and saying, have I really done and how much work have I really put into this? This is a challenge. This affects one's emotional and psychological state. I was able to climb to the top of Mount Fuji. I made the trek. At the top, you can look inside of the crater and you can see where the brimstone from the lava that still marks around the borders. Not everybody that climbs this mountain makes it to the top. In fact, most that do climb make it to level 7, level 8, and the aches and the turmoil and the stresses that come with this challenge, they give up and say, I've made enough. I'm going back down. My point is this. We all have mountains to cross. We all have goals to reach. The effectiveness of our mind says, how much of us have the emotional fortitude, the psychological width to withstand these challenges and go through and to make our own mountains trek, climb to the top of the mountain. The exhilaration that I felt when I reached the top and when I walked down made it all worth it. The 14.5 hour trek that I did, I can look back and say, I did it. Make your mountain. The last is going to be the selective process. We're all a part of a selective process, means what we choose to get involved in and what we choose not to be a part of. Life choices. A high says youth, specifically. Youth. How do I view the world? Do I enter the world prepared to challenge the world, to go for the jobs? Is my mind ready for this? That's the high. The low says, do I avoid challenges? Do I want to stay close to friends and family that I know and never challenge myself? Here's a picture. This is a globe. This is the world. They say that the world is your oyster, and it's up to you to discover that oyster and to be a part of that oyster. Well, I say, and I'll agree to that. And now at 35 plus countries of travel, I see this world as being my oyster. I was always fascinated when I was in geography class and wanted to be a part of the world. And I saw myself as a member of the world. But it's up to me as a selective process to join into that community, to be a change maker, to be a forward thinker. That is a choice. You can do it domestically. They say, think global, but act local. Absolutely. However, the opportunity is, invest and be a part of this global dialogue. You exist and your voice is necessary. So I want to thank you. And I challenge you to reach all of those points. My time is up. I can go on, but I would love to introduce the next speaker, who is a remarkable woman, Miss Barke Camus. She is the founder of Be Your Own Hero. She's a published biography author of a self-help book. She has spoken at many events and featured in podcasts, radio shows, and received the world awards for Best Table Topic Speaker at Toastmasters. She is hosting several different programs, collaborating with many organizations, and working with Coach Reina Suleiman, focusing on faith and self-determination. Barke provides her services internationally, and she believes that everyone has the ability to live their own and their best life. Ms. Barke, it's up to you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
He is exactly excited as I am. Now, I love to play a game as usual, so I would love to actually wake everyone up, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world, as long as you are online watching me right now. I would like to actually ask you if you can put any type of feeling you're feeling right now in the have you got at the bottom the reaction button over there? Please, I would love to see your reaction right now. How are you feeling right now? Wow, thumbs up, smiles. Anything else? Ooh, loves, yes. Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Now I know we're all alive and we're here listening to each other. Now, I would like to say is that I believe every one of us, every human being will actually experience mental health, will experience the self-esteem, will experience growth. But do we really pay attention to those things? That's the question. Because sometimes we get overwhelmed, whatever we're going through in our lives. And that could be from our culture, religion, family, peers, community, society, or even ourselves. So I would love to actually ask you today if you are able to really sit down with yourself and ask yourself questions. How are you feeling right now? What's happening to you right now? Are you in a place that you feel that you're rich? Yeah, without that £1 billion in your account, but you feel rich. You feel good about yourself. Do you even look at yourself in the mirror and being happy with what you see right there, the image reflecting back to you? Are you proud of yourself? Do you acknowledge little steps or little achievements that you make in your life? Sometimes we get to the point that we become so busy. We have to pay the rents, we have to pay the bills, we have to look after the children, we have to make sure that we get to either education or work in time. We have to do what we have to do. But what about you? Where are you? What's happening within? And this is the time that we have to take that time out, even if it's just about 2 minutes of your day, and just breathe. Stress has been known that is something that is really really hurting and really making people becoming paralyzed. Now, I would like to actually making sure that we take that time out for ourselves, that we pay attention to oneself. I'm saying all of this because I went through myself. I was so busy putting everyone else in front of me. They started driving my life, the way I'm thinking, the way I do things. And I was okay with it at the beginning because I was making them happy. But guess what? Nobody's going to be happy with you every time. You can never make people happy if you don't make yourself happy. So what happened is that every time I get up and I make people happy, making sure that everyone else is looked after, where am I? I'm not there. I'll tell myself, later, I'll deal with you. And that becomes like a spiral that is just like being pushed down, pushed down. And what happened with the spring when it's been pushed down too much? Have you seen that toy, Jack in the Box? What happened to Jack in the Box when you open it? It goes poof, and makes you jump. It's exactly as your feelings. When you keep pushing them down and you don't listen to what you're feeling right now and you don't express it, that's what happens. And then guess what? Another black woman shouting, going crazy. Oh, this is what happens. So I would like to actually say, don't let it go until to the moment that it's just, you can't take it, that it's just like a volcano. You don't have to do that. Anytime you feel uncomfortable, you feel something is irritating you, straight away deal with it, because no one else is going to come and deal with it for you. You have to do it. But giving ourselves permission to actually say, I am worth it, I'm important, and I have to do this, I have to look after myself. My mental health is more important than making you happy right now. So, no thank you. I need to take time out for a second and just breathe or sleep or just have a nice little bath or listen to music, go for a walk. I love water. Water soothes me. So even if just walking onto the river or sea, amazing. I forget everything. It's like I'm recharged. So what is yours? And that is what you need to find. So mental health, you cannot grow if you don't look after yourself. You cannot be the best, living your greatest, if you don't look after yourself. Guess what? I'm talking about this because I am living it. And I have to tell myself every single day when things get overwhelmed, when things get too much, I have to remind myself, the same speech I'm giving you right now, I have to look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, hey, girl, hey, we need to catch up. Time to stop. What's happening? Let's deal with this. And you can do that. It's okay. Look at yourself in the mirror and look at you. Really connect with yourself. Not just putting makeup on and put this mask on and thinking that, no, I can just act it out and everything will be okay. It doesn't last. It's only temporary. You have to deal with it. So give yourself permission. And I love this because when I coach and I say to them like, have you looked after yourself today? Have you even say I love you? You don't have to wait for someone else to tell you I love you. Say to yourself, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm smiling. Baby, I love you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're sexy, man. You want some flowers? I'll buy you flowers. It's okay. I got you. And that's what it is. Don't wait for another person. You won the race from the moment you're conceived. That is the power. You are the greatest. No one else can make you feel it. Only you can make yourself feel it. So I am here today, standing up. Well, sorry, I'm sitting down. And I want to just shout it at you and just telling you that you are special. You are fantastic. And you can be the best version of yourself. Only you have to step up. Only you have to say yes. Yes to the world. The world, there's no sun. You can still smile. The sun is there. So love yourself. Look after yourself. Be you. Don't try to be anybody else. You are somebody. Connect with that person. Get to know that person. Take yourself out and be your own hero. My name is Bariki Faraj Kamos, and I'm so excited and I'm so blessed to have you. And you know what my name means? It's blessing. So I am blessed, and I'm here to share my blessing with every one of you. So thank you so much, and I'm going to take it back to Eunice Kamara.
Well, thank you, Barky.
Associating with my youths. When I'm dealing with my youth, I had a youth call me and said, Mr. Camara, I enjoy your program whenever it comes out, but you never touch upon something. And the reason why I saved this for last is because being a single parent
Parent don't make you a bad person.
at that point in time. We have to understand the process that they deal with. We have to try to talk to them to make them understand. A lot of time when a child see mommy and daddy fighting or separating, they
Barkay
blame themselves.
and Unessa, we can't
Or
hear you.
they will blame the one, not the
Not
other.
the other.
I want
I
to
want
take
to
this
take
time
this time
to
to
just
just
acknowledge
acknowledge my youths.
you are
You are
loved,
loved.
you are
You are
acknowledged.
acknowledged.
Never blame
Never blame
yourself
yourself
because mommy and
because
daddy are
mommy and
not
daddy are not
together.
together.
You don't
You
need
don't need
to
to
misbehave
misbehave
to get
to get
attention.
attention.
I
I
go with the
go with
five
the five
W's.
W's.
Why,
Why,
when,
when,
who,
who,
what,
what,
and when,
and
and
when,
how.
and how.
Oh,
Oh,
something of the
something
sort.
of a sort.
And then I go
And then
with
I
the
go with the
tri
try
version.
version.
Take
Take
responsibility
responsibility
of your own
of your own
action.
action. Or I'll go with the who hears me, who hears you. We hear your cry. Some of us feel your pain, and we're here to support you. We need you to give us a chance to support you. We as society, we as an adults, we've been through that. But some of us tend to forget and blame society. I'm too busy. I don't have time for this, but we're quick to point the finger to say this child is bad. Franklin Roosevelt stated, why wait till a child is broken when we can fix that man before he gets to that point? I appreciate my forward thinkers. And I'm looking at each and every one of them. I can tell you about Joe, Joy, Joe. I know you want to mute so bad. I can tell you about Jasmine, Sean, Latanya. I'm afraid of Latanya, so I got to say her name right. Dr. Wayne and Nick and Samuel, phenomenal individuals. I'm grateful for them. But before we go to the audience to ask them any questions, let me just say, these individuals are the forward thinkers for November. If your organization wants to reach out to them, reach out to us, and we will reach out to them, and they will contact you. The purpose of them being here is to support organizations, charities, and businesses. They're now part of Camaro Youth. They are part of the family. These are game changers. And as you have heard each and every one of them speak, none of them duplicated another one's speech. Originality initiates a forward thinker. So as we go into this, I just want to give them the opportunity. Well, before I give them the opportunity again, let me go to our fit for purpose individuals that are in the room. Samuel Camara's camera is off, but does anyone have any questions for our forward thinkers? Please unmute. Well, I have a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now I can.
Yeah, okay. So for me, it's always about the truth. So, you know, I want to hear what the young man has to say. I want to hear what my boss has to say. And I will put the facts forward as I see them. So, but I mean, if you're asking me, if this my boss is clearly in the wrong, and he wants me to do something that's wrong, then the answer's, you know, the answer's no, because I'm not there to serve my boss. I'm there to serve the truth at the end of the day.
The
So,
reason why I asked you this, woman never pulled over to complain to the officer to say he's trying to rob me, he's threatening me. But now he's detaining this gentleman. How would you handle that?
well, I mean, if I was to handle that, it's about he needs to justify his actions to me. So, you know, how did he determine that this young man was going to rob this lady? You know, and that's, you know, you put the ball back in their court, because at the end of the day, they have to justify any use of their power or abuse of their power. Obviously, I can read into the situation, but it's like you said, it's how do you deal with it? So, you know, I make him accountable, and by making him accountable, you know, there's only going to be one outcome, and that boy's going to end up walking, because, you know, there's no justification for pulling that young man over. You know, what goes on beyond that in terms of any discipline or accountability, well, you know, I'll deal with that how I deal with it. You know, it's about, I always give people room to grow and learn, but you only get one chance with me. If I see you do it again, you're not going to get the same sort of leeway, because that's telling me you're not learning nothing.
Unfortunately, and this is how some of these youths get records. Some of them never committed a crime, but just on a hearsay without evidence, due to another officer or an ADA decide to write up what they've been told. Where do our kids stand? Jacqueline,
Yes.
I want you to take, do you want to ask Jacqueline a question, or should I?
Ask Jacqueline the same question.
I'm sure.
I want to hear Jacqueline's answer.
Okay. Sean, I already gave my feet. Okay, you know what? Let's
Yeah,
go
but
with
look, I'm one individual. You know, everybody's going to deal with things differently, but that's why it's important people there to deal with these problems, so we can protect our young people. You know.
I will reserve. I will. A white guy driving a vehicle, a black woman in the car. The white guy put his windows down, and they're staring at this black woman. There's an officer observing all of this. The light changes. The woman proceeded to go on her way, but the cop decided to pull over this gentleman and goes into the station and said, I want you to write this man up for attempted robbery. How would you handle it? You are the officer that I'm your boss and I'm telling you to write this up, to put this charge on this gentleman, attempted robbery.
It's just how I'm wired. I want to either like I would don't understand why I'm writing this person up. So can you give me some guidance as to how I should handle this? Because that way it's really giving the onus back to them. Because if I don't believe or I don't agree with that, I would need to have some sort of guidance from my. Based on my experience, I would want to know some of the details because I would think that the report would need to be full and be substantial to be able to support this charge. So is it just off of you being based? But I've learned even in my experience in corporate America to be able to challenge authority in those cases and ask the questions and the right questions as to what are the root causes, what are the reasons for this right here, so we can make sure that it is unbiased. Well, that's just how I would handle the situation. I would ask, what are the reasons and what are the things we can make sure the report is full and substantial that you feel this person was going to rob this woman? Did you see him in the act? What were the steps that led you to this particular thought process? Because if I put my name on it, I'm going to have some more information with it. Otherwise, I'm going to respectfully decline to do it.
Okay.
And that's just me. I mean, that's just how I would handle that. And I have handled situations in the past, maybe not in that particular situation, where when I was a manager, I had a superior to tell me that I needed to put a certain person on a PIP, which is a performance improvement plan, and I didn't see the supporting data for that. Have you gone through this? Have you gone through this? Have they gone through this before you go directly to a PIP? And they had not. So I respectfully declined to do it. Even though they reported to me and even though I reported to them, because there was nothing substantial that really warranted that.
Thank you very much.
My credibility on the line. I'm going to make sure that it's fact checked. So that's it. I have to make sure that all the research is done, that you ask all the right questions, because anything that my name.
What are the right questions?
Yes. So I'm going. You're a leader, but you leadership. So just because you're my boss, I'm gonna respect your authority because you're my boss. But I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna do my due diligence because it's my reputation. And at the end of the day, I always say cover your own self because people get real amnesia sometimes around here. I'm like, oh no, not today, not on my watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same question.
Same question. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Point blank, period. So if you have this situation and this person, he's saying, hey, I want you to write him up for all of this, he's supposedly about to rob this person, whatever. What facts do you have? If there are no facts, if you can't give me a justifiable reason why this person needs to be written up, then there's no report. And I'm not putting my name on it, just like Joy said. That's your credibility. And if your name is going on any kind of documentation, especially if it's something that has to do with the life of somebody else, then you just wrong.
That's right.
Thank you. I will tell the audience, give their input because this is going on almost 2 hours. But Latonia, please, the same question.
Okay, I'm a CSI, law and order. Yeah, all that. That's all in there. I need some evidence. No evidence, no paperwork, because I ain't putting my name on. My name carries weight, so therefore, and standing up for what is right, even though it contradicts what you would normally do, because some people sell out, like they'll sell a soul for $1. But however, right is right and wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, if you can't produce no evidence to back that up, then what's really going on? Okay, you said he attempted to rob her. It wasn't in action. It didn't take place. So therefore, you have no paperwork to fill out. You have no charges to file against this individual. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And at the end of the day, it boils down to the person and their personality. How far are you willing to go to stand up for what is right? There's too many people selling out for what is wrong behind $1. How about doing something to stand up for somebody that's doing something right?
That's right. And I like that question. What is really going on? That's what needs to be investigated.
Sean is preaching today.
I think everybody said it. The only thing I can do is piggyback on that. And, I think Sean, though, in his position has probably seen this. We're commenting on it, but Sean has probably been down that road where he's been asked to do some things that maybe he knows he doesn't want to do, or he knows somebody else as a coworker that kind of have been in the same position. And I think it's just unfortunate that this is the reality that we're in when we're dealing with the law. We see it on TV. I think within our community, we know exactly that these things happen all the time, regardless of our professions. So accountability, document it, cover your back, cover your trail. Anytime you're asked to do something that goes out of not only ethical reasons, but just doesn't have facts to support it and back it up, you literally have to cover your tracks because, as it was mentioned, that same report that you're giving, somebody can turn around and try to use it against you. So, like I said, Sean he's in this situation. He's probably seen a lot more than this, but to answer I just give support to what everybody else is saying. You must keep a conscience and really be careful what you put on paper, and just know that these things can be used against you.
Thank you. Well, let me say this. Some people don't look at it as a sellout. Some people will say some things in front of a camera, but behind doors, it's a different thing. If you look at the stats, many of our young men are getting criminal records, not because of their actual crime, but because they're being accused. I have a team member. Her son speaks 5 languages, never committed a crime here in the UK. And you guys can look it up as well. Never committed a crime. They meant to go down and break somebody's door, but mistakenly broke down his door. They found a gun, no drugs, no bullets. Thank you. People in the studio are telling me about this as well, because it was a case that I had to personally get involved in and had to get some of my lawyers involved. They wanted to prosecute this young man for over the line drug dealing. He found a gun. He's taking care of his mother that is ill. And they tried to lock him up. We had to put a lot of manpower because the paperwork were already made as he is what they say he is. And his best friend, that is a convicted drug dealer, is saying that, yeah, I work for this man. When at the end of the day, he didn't do anything. The reason why I brought this up is because, ladies and gentlemen, some of these youths don't trust the police. I'm not saying all police officers are bad, because I interact with them as well. I'm in housing all the time. They used to pull me over when they see me, but now they know my face. They're like, oh my God, that Janisa, let's leave him alone. He's trouble. Because you pulling me over, my friend, we're gonna go into it. And I'll call your mayor, like, hello, talk to your friend. Because you're not going to put no charge on me. But we have to understand a lot of these youths, and I was at a meeting again, I think I spoke to you, Sean, about this, where I was with the mayor, and they're talking about putting more police officers in the streets instead of building community centers. Our youths, I was growing up many moons ago, we had after-school centers. I had somewhere to go hit a bag. I had somewhere to go shoot hoop. I had Miss Jones looking out for me. But now Miss Jones is afraid of little Tommy, because Tommy has nowhere to go to release. What are we doing as a society? You know, sometimes it's not just talking the talk, it's walking the walk. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my forward thinkers for being here. Please, if does anyone have anything to say, Georgina just say yes, they don't trust the system. Georgina
I do have a
yes,
question.
they don't trust the system, which is designed to fail our young people, unfortunately. Georgina also worked with the mayor in her area, and she leads a community of youths. She's now doing something international that she wanted to be a part of as well. So I think she might be reaching out to some of you. That is why Georgina is also here. She's spying on our forward thinkers. Her name is Georgina Soares. Powerful young woman. She was with the Prime Minister. She took a lot of her youths to the Prime Minister. So Georgina is quite involved as well. And I like being in the midst of such individuals. So, my forward thinkers, as we're coming to an end, I think Sean was saying something with someone.
Yeah,
Does
someone
anyone
was
have
trying
anything
to.
say?
Someone had a question.
Oh, okay. Ade, Ad,
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is hello everybody. This is AD, all the way
AD.
from the capital of the nation, Washington, D.C. First of all, I thank everybody for being here. And informative. I really thank each one of you right here for your wisdom, for your sharing your experience. It means a lot to me personally. I have actually a general question, and I would like to ask everyone right here. Law enforcement do to gain the trust of our youth community? I would like to start with Dr. Wayne Brown, and it goes on.
Okay, that was no different than what is still going on today, where there is a degree of mistrust and animosity when you see and you think about the law. Because what we see on TV is still being played out. And what do I mean by that? Accusations, you see police brutality, you see attacks, you see Arbery cases, you see cases where George Floyd. Why do these things keep happening? It's systemic. And not only is it taking place in the United States, obviously this is taking place in the UK. It's taking place in the UK, it's taking place in other parts of Europe. It's taking place in different parts of the world. So this is not just, it's a domestic issue in the United States, of course. So it's also global. One of the things that can do, as Sean is mentioning, as he mentioned in his speech and his delivery, was the community side engaging with the people themselves. Sean, as a police officer, must come to the community and talk to the people and not be seen as a person who is there to police them and to operate on an oppressive wing. Oppressive means that I'm here to keep you in your place and keep you down. That kind of level of relationship will never bring about peace. It must be the people, and they must be listened to. That's a point, a beginning point, to say the least. That dialogue must take place. And not only that, it has to be continuously built upon and worked upon and worked upon and worked upon. That's a starting point. I'll turn it over to some of my guests.